Well, hello everybody. We're sitting here with Joe Survival Caruso, doing a little interview and a little music for Cruising USA. My name is Herb Ransberg. I'm the president of the Orange Blossom Blues Society down here in Central Florida. And we're going to ask Joe a couple of questions and learn a little bit more about Joe's background and his career in music, particularly the blues. So, Joe, where were you born?
I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, in a place called the Ninth Ward, New Orleans, Louisiana, in 1947.
All right. So you grew up your whole life in New Orleans, huh?
My whole life, I'm New Orleans man. My family's from New Orleans, born and raised there. And I grew up in the blues down there, in the lower Ninth Ward area down on Desire Street. Okay. And a lot of musicians was down there. A lot of juke joints, nightclubs, famous club Desire. A lot of famous musicians would come through there. Guitar Slim, Memphis Slim, Count Basie, people like that would come through down there and play at the clubs down there. Barbara Lynn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, who were some of the cats you played with? Some of the bands that came into town that you played with, and some of the local, like the Nevilles and some of those cats you played with down there.
Well, I did a lot of sideline work when I first started, and I did some backing up with Johnny Adams, and we would do rhythm and blues reviews, which had a lot of the recording artists on the show, and we would work with people like Aaron Neville and Irma Thomas, Ernie Cato, those type of people would come through. Jesse Hill. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And you guys opened for Johnny Taylor a few times, huh?
Well, I worked for Johnny for a short time. I did some shows with him up in Detroit, Michigan, and got to play with Johnny. That was awesome.
Okay.
And then, I got to meet B.B. King too. He was on the show.
I bet that was great. So was the guitar your first instrument, or did you start with something else? Well,
I wanted to be a drummer from a little kid, and I had a toy set that I used to beat on and sing ragtime. But they never got an actual drum set. They said it was too noisy. So I wound up getting a guitar, Yeah.
So you remember what your first guitar was? Was it a little acoustic or was it electric?
No, it wasn't acoustic. It was an acoustic guitar. It was a $12.50 guitar. It was hanging up in the ceiling at a store, and my grandfather bought it. Actually, bought it for my grandmother. She said she wanted the guitar, but she couldn't play it. She played piano, but she couldn't play the guitar. So I inherited it, and I started learning off that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So how did you become a blues man? How did it all start?
Now I was born in the blues. I was a blues baby before I was a blues man. I had blues coming at me from every which way. My parents, my grandparents, they would play the records, the 78s, and of all the blues people, of the latest sounds, stuff like that. And then we living in the Ninth Ward. We had all these musicians coming through. Some would come to the house and play the piano at my grandmother's house. So that started me into the blues. And then as I started playing music, I started paying my dues, playing for one night stands and not making any money and having to sleep in the automobiles. And one night we slept on the stage. We played on the stage, slept on the stage, woke up the next morning, got in the car and drove home. That's all that goes, And I've traveled around the United States. I've been all over the United States. And I played with a little bit of everybody, Done everybody. I worked with Buddy Ace. Did some work with O.B. Wright, Denise LaSalle, all those folks like that. And come to blues, man. You pay your dues.
Pay your dues, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I know you got the nickname Survivor because you've been through a lot. Just give us a little brief rundown of what happened back when Katrina hit.
Oh, the Katrina story. Well, I was fortunate. I wasn't in New Orleans. I wasn't home, put it like that, when the storm struck. And I left out the Friday morning, not knowing there was a storm, going up to northwestern Louisiana, up there to play at a big casino. Took my mother with me because we were going to be gone for the weekend. And got a phone call at that Saturday morning saying, don't come back to New Orleans right away because there's a storm coming in. And sure enough, it was Katrina, and couldn't get back home. Wind up driving all the way from northwestern Louisiana all the way down to Florida to get my mother to a safe place. I had a sister had a house, but I lost everything in Katrina. Lost house, cars, instruments, whatever you can name, you could think of, you might have. I lost it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, man. So, man, that was a tough way to go, man. But hey, tell us about the CD that was released about a year ago.
Oh, the CD. Talking about this CD. Yeah, it's on Lake House Records, this CD. And the CD is called I Got to Tell Somebody, which is one of the songs that I wrote on the CD. It's all original songs except for one. There's one song I made a cover of, but I rearranged it. So she's going to Atlanta is a true story. I wrote that about something that happened to me with a woman friend of mine. And the rest is just downright good hardcore blues with a New Orleans kind of feel to it, you know. And it's been doing pretty good, you know. And you can get it if you're interested in it. You can get it on CD Baby, Joseph Caruso, you know.
All right. Well, you to close us out, you want to play a little something for us?
Yeah, I'll do a little something that I wrote, and if I'm not mistaken, it's on that CD. The blues is good. Some people say the blues is bad. Some say the blues is sad. Some say the blues will make you cry. I often wonder why, 'cause the blues is good, baby. So good, so good, so good to me. Yeah, it's alright. You know the blues is good. Good right down to my soul. Yeah, it's alright. Now the blues take away my troubles, ease my troubling mind, fill me up with pride, make me feel so good inside, 'cause the blues is good, baby, so good, so good, so good to me. Yeah, it's alright. You know the blues is good, good right down to my soul. Yeah, it's alright, it's alright. Now some people say the blues is old, some say the blues is cold, some say the blues don't have no soul. Let me tell you what I've been told. You know the blues is good, baby, so good, so good, so good to me. Yeah, it's alright. You know the blues is good, good right down to my soul. Yeah, it's alright. Though it's alright. Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, it's alright.
All right, so there you have it, Mr. Joseph Caruso, all the way from New Orleans, Louisiana.
That's